So a juror's function is to hear and evaluate the evidence that's presented before them. For years I've been very fortunate in handling cases and trying several cases to verdict. I've had the opportunity to connect with the 12 jurors that have been before me for weeks at a time, and I think that that's very important. I think that any trial attorney would tell you a connection to his or her jury is very helpful in presenting a case. But it's not how a case should be presented altogether. A connection with one's jury is important, but the evidence presented must be heard and evaluated. And it must be heard and evaluated without bias. And a lawyer or a juror that tells you otherwise is not doing their job. One of my favorite parts, and certainly one of the more awkward parts in trying cases, is the interaction amongst myself, my colleagues, and jurors. It's actually almost socially awkward when you identify with the juror, when you know you're going to spend the better part of a week or 2 weeks with them, and that you cannot interact with them outside of a courtroom. You walk down the hallway, you tend to look the other way. You may run into them at a food truck outside, or just when you go for a walk to clear your head, and you can't really acknowledge them. You might smile, you might look the other way, but you're not allowed to interact with those jurors. Equally awkward must be when a juror has a question about something that you're presenting to them, the evidence that you're presenting to them, and they want to know why they haven't heard the simplest point being made or seen a document that would shed to light or bring to light so much information. Unfortunately, the process at times is limiting. What's terrific about jurors is that they are able to see through these tactics. They're able to understand that if there is a little gap in an explanation, that's because someone has gone out of their way to hide that information or gone out of that way to declare that information protected so it doesn't have to be presented to them. At Kolsby Gordon over the last several years, we've been extremely successful in getting to the truth, in getting the information that we need, in presenting that information to the jurors as best as we can. With very few exceptions. There's still gamesmanship being played. There's still information that's being kept from us. But for the most part, the combination of what we can present and an individual's ability to see the truth often come out during a trial.